My dear Capricorn, I want to start by saying something that I think you need to hear before we begin. You have been working too hard for too long. I know you do not want to hear it. I know you are going to push back and tell me that your work is not the problem, that you love what you do, that you are fine. I have had this conversation with Capricorn clients for 35 years. You always say the same thing, and I always tell you the same thing back. There is a difference between loving your work and not knowing how to stop working. Many of you have lost that difference. 2026 is the year the universe is going to make you find it again. I am not going to start with the most dramatic transit, the way I usually do. Break time 05s. I am going to start where the year actually starts for you, with the slow lifting of a weight you have been carrying without quite noticing. On February 13th, Saturn leaves Pisces and enters Aries. Saturn is your ruling planet. For the past 2.5 years, Saturn has been sitting in your third house of communication. Daily learning, siblings, neighbors, and short trips. Many of you have spent those years dealing with difficult communication situations. A sibling matter that demanded years of attention. A neighborhood or daily environment situation that wore you down. A learning curve at work that felt much harder than it should have. A writing or speaking project that took years to come together. A vehicle, a commute, or a daily routine that became a slow source of stress. On February 13th, that weight lifts. Break time 0.05s. And it lifts because your ruling planet moves into your fourth house, the house of home, family, roots, real estate, mother, and the foundations of your life. Saturn is going to live in your fourth house from February of 2026 until February of 2028. 2 full years of Saturn, rebuilding the foundation of your life from the inside out. I want to tell you why this matters before I tell you anything else. Because Saturn is your ruling planet, the house Saturn sits in becomes the central project of your life while Saturn is there. For the past 2.5 years, your central project has been your daily mind, your daily voice, your daily environment. For the next 2 years, your central project becomes your home, your family, your relationship with where you actually live and who you actually come from. Break time 0.05s. This is a quiet transit, but it is enormous. Many Capricorns will buy property in this period. Many will sell property. Many will move. Many will renovate. Many will take in a parent, a sibling, or a child who needs care. Many will reorganize their relationship with their mother, or with the maternal figure of their childhood. Many will deal with ancestral matters they have been postponing for years. Saturn in your fourth house does not let you avoid your roots, and here is what makes this year different from any normal Saturn transit. Neptune, the planet of 14-year cycles, also enters your fourth house. Neptune leaves Pisces on January 26th, ending the long 14-year stay it has had in your third house since 2012. Break time 0.05s. So both Saturn and Neptune are moving from your communication house into your home and family house in the same 6 weeks. And on February 20th, they meet in an exact conjunction at 0 degrees 44 minutes of Aries, right in your fourth house. This conjunction happens once every 36 years. The last one was in 1989. For you, in your fourth house, it marks the formal beginning of a 15-year period, during which your relationship with home, family, mother, and roots is rewritten at the deepest level. I want to pause here, because I have something to confess. Capricorn is one of my favorite signs to chart, but it is also one of the signs I worry about most. You carry, you provide, you are responsible. You hold the family together, you handle the finances when no one else will. Break time 0.05s. You handle the medical decisions when a parent gets sick. You handle the difficult conversation no one else wants to have. And often, you do all of this without anyone really noticing how heavy it is. Saturn in your fourth house for 2 years, paired with Neptune for 14 years, is going to ask you to stop, or at least to slow down, to turn toward your own home, your own family, your own emotional foundations, with the same seriousness you have given to everyone else's. This is a homecoming year, my darling, not a victory year. A homecoming. Let me now walk you through the rest of the transits, in the order they happen. But first, the eclipses. Because the eclipses of 2026 form a different story for you than they do for most signs. February 17th, break time 0.5s, annular solar eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius in your second house. Pluto has been in your second house since 2024, doing the long, deep work of transforming your relationship with money, with what you value, with what you earn, with what you believe you deserve. A solar eclipse on top of that Pluto work in mid-February is one of the most significant financial dates of your year. A salary changes. A career-related financial decision is made. An income stream begins or ends. Many Capricorns will see a major financial restructuring in mid-February. Pay attention to what shifts that week. March 3rd lunar eclipse at 12 degrees 54 minutes of Virgo in your ninth house of higher education, foreign places, publishing, philosophy, and meaning. Break time Seco 5s. This eclipse brings a foreign or educational matter to a peak. A degree completes. A move abroad is finalized or postponed. A book project culminates. A teaching opportunity opens or closes. A spiritual or philosophical question gets an answer. August 12th. Total solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Leo in your 8th house. This is the most personally significant eclipse of your year, my darling, and I will tell you why in a moment. And August 27th, partial lunar eclipse at 4 degrees of Pisces in your 3rd house, closing the Neptune Pisces era in your communication sector with a final dramatic conversation, a final piece of writing, a final sibling matter, or a final daily routine clarification. Now the August 12th eclipse. Let me explain why this one matters more than any other date of your year. Break time equal 5s. Because just 6 weeks before the eclipse on June 30th, Jupiter enters Leo and your 8th house. The 8th house, Capricorn, is the house of joint money, shared resources, inheritance, debts, taxes, investments, mortgages, refinances, settlements, intimacy, sexuality, and deep psychological transformation. Jupiter in your 8th house for 13 months until July of 2027 is going to expand your access to money that comes from outside of you. A partner's income, an inheritance, a loan approval, a settlement, a tax advantage, a business buyout, an investment maturing, a refinance closing, a scholarship, a grant. And then 6 weeks after Jupiter arrives, a total solar eclipse lands almost directly on Jupiter in your 8th house. Break time .05s. This is one of the most financially significant astrological alignments a Capricorn can receive. August 12th may be the day a major financial transformation reaches its peak. A settlement check arrives. A property closes. An inheritance is processed. A business buyout finalizes. A long-pending tax matter resolves. A loan is approved, but I want to be honest with you about the 8th house, because it is also a complicated place. The 8th house is not just about receiving money. It is also about facing what is hidden, what is shared, what is intimate, what is uncomfortable. Jupiter in your 8th house may expand difficult conversations as much as it expands financial opportunities. A long-avoided conversation with a partner about money. A long-avoided conversation with a family member about inheritance. Break time 05s, a long-avoided conversation with yourself about intimacy, sexuality, vulnerability, or trust. The 8th house Jupiter rewards those who do the deep work. It does not reward avoidance. Now, Uranus. On April 25th, Uranus leaves Taurus after 7 years and enters Gemini. For you, Capricorn, Gemini is your 6th house of work, health, daily routine, service, employees, and pets. Uranus in your 6th house for 7 years, until 2033, will revolutionize how you work and how you take care of your body. And here is where I really need to talk to you seriously, my darling. Because this transit, more than any other, is the universe's way of forcing you to address what I said at the beginning of this script. You have been overworking. You have been ignoring your body. You have been pushing through symptoms, break time .05s, putting off doctor visits, sleeping too little, eating in ways that do not nourish you, exercising erratically or not at all. Uranus in your 6th house is not going to allow that to continue for 7 years. There will be disruptions to your work schedule. There will be unexpected health issues that demand attention. There will be changes in your routine that are not optional. There will be moments where your body simply refuses to function in the old way, and you will have to listen. I do not want to alarm you. Uranus in the 6th house is not a curse. It is, in fact, one of the most useful health transits available, because it forces you to change patterns that you would never change voluntarily. Many Capricorns will discover unconventional health practices in this period that genuinely heal them. Many will leave jobs that have been damaging their health for years. Many will reorganize their daily routine in ways that make their lives sustainable for the first time in decades. The transit is harsh only if you fight it. If you flow with it, it heals what your stubbornness has been hiding. In 2026 specifically, the first year of this transit, Uranus is in early degrees, and the changes are early. Pay attention to your body in May, June, and July. If something feels off, address it. Do not push it down. Do not wait. The early signals of Uranus in your 6th house are gentle. They become less gentle if ignored. Jupiter in the first half of the year is in Cancer in your 7th house of partnership. So January through June continues the partnership expansion that began in June of 2025. Many of you have deepened relationships, gotten engaged, married, started business partnerships, or signed important contracts in the past year. Use the final 6 months of this transit. Finalize what is being built. Make the commitment that has been hanging. Sign the partnership agreement. A break time. 05s. The window closes on June 30th, when Jupiter moves into your 8th house. If this video is useful, please subscribe before I go further. I publish monthly Capricorn forecasts the first week of every month. Subscribe and I will see you every month of the year. You will need monthly guidance to navigate this year well. I never leave a Capricorn halfway through a year. You have my word. Let me tell you about Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a Capricorn client of mine from Toronto, born in early January, who came to me in the autumn of 2023, right as Pluto was about to enter her 2nd house. She was 52 then. She had been a senior executive at a bank for 23 years. She came to me because she had started waking up at 4 in the morning with a feeling she could not name. She said, "Aurora, break 5s. My life looks perfect from outside. House, marriage, career, 2 grown children, money, everything. And inside I feel like I am suffocating. I do not know what to do." I looked at her chart and I said, "Elizabeth, my darling, you have been building a life from the outside in for so long that you have lost the inside. Pluto is about to spend 20 years rearranging your relationship with money and value, and during that time, you are going to find out what you actually want, instead of what you were told to want. It will not be a comfortable process, but by the end of it, you will be someone you barely recognize." 2 years later, Elizabeth has done what Pluto in her 2nd house has been asking. She left the bank. Break time and 05s. She did not start another corporate job. She started a small consulting practice that pays her less but takes 70% less of her energy. She sold the large house and bought a smaller, simpler one. She separated, amicably, from her husband of 25 years, who has become a close friend. She has spent the past 18 months learning what her actual values are, separate from the ones inherited from her family and her industry. And when she came to see me last month, she told me, "Aurora, I am poorer now and I am lighter than I have been in 30 years. I do not regret a single decision." I tell you this story because Pluto in your 2nd house, which continues through 2026 and the years beyond, is asking you to do the slow work of figuring out what you actually value, not what you were taught to value. Break time. 5s. Not what your family expected. Not what your career trajectory demanded. What you actually value. The eclipses of February 17th in your 2nd house and August 12th in your 8th house, combined with this ongoing Pluto work, are going to bring this question to a head in 2026. Let me talk about love. The first half of the year continues Jupiter in your 7th house of partnership, which has been generous since June of 2025. Many couples will deepen commitment in the first 6 months of the year. Many singles will meet a significant partner. The closing date for this partnership window is June 30th. When Jupiter moves to your 8th house. After June 30th, the romantic energy shifts from partnership formation to partnership depth. The 8th house Jupiter blesses intimate, sexual, break time 05s, financially intertwined, deeply committed partnerships, not new romance. So if you are partnered, the 2nd half of the year deepens what you have built. If you are single, the 2nd half is less about meeting new partners and more about the inner work of becoming ready for the kind of depth your next relationship will require. The Venus retrograde from October 3rd to November 13th in Scorpio and Libra falls in your 11th house and your 10th house. So old friendships and old career-related love matters return. Be careful which doors you open. Not every return is meant to last. Career. The career story is layered. Chiron entered your 5th house of romance and creativity. Sorry, my darling. Let me restate. Chiron enters Taurus on June 19th in your 5th house. So a long, break time 05s slow healing begins in your relationship with romance, creativity, children, and play. But your career sector is also active. Pluto in your 2nd house affects what you earn. Uranus into your 6th house in April affects how you work day to day. Jupiter into your 8th house in June affects shared resources and career-related money. The Venus retrograde in October-November in your 10th house may bring an old career matter back. An old boss, an old job opportunity, an old career relationship. Stay open but discerning. Money. This is one of the most financially active years of your decade. Pluto continues to transform your personal income. The February 17th eclipse in your 2nd house brings a personal financial peak. Saturn and Neptune leave your 3rd house in February, ending a long communication-related money chapter. Break time 05s. Jupiter into your 8th house on June 30th opens a 13-month window of expanded access to shared finances. The August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your 8th house may be the single most financially significant day of your decade. Mark it. Plan toward it. If you have a major financial decision pending, a property purchase, a major investment, a business buyout, an inheritance, August 12th or the weeks around it is when the universe is most likely to deliver health. Uranus into your 6th house in April begins the most disruptive but also most healing health transit of your decade. Listen to your body all year, but especially from late spring onward. The Jupiter exit from your 7th house and entry into your 8th house in June can also affect sexual and intimate health. Pay attention to those areas. Home and family. Break time .05s. This is the dominant story of your year. Saturn and Neptune entering your 4th house in February begins a 15-year reorganization of your relationship with home, family, and roots. Many Capricorns will move in 2026. Many will renovate. Many will take in a family member. Many will reconcile with their mother or maternal figure. Many will deal with ancestral matters. Many will have a child or grandchild born this year. Many will lose a parent or grandparent this year. The 4th house under Saturn and Neptune is the deepest house of all, and this transit is the most personal of your year. I want to give you a ritual now. I want you to do it on February 13th, the day Saturn enters your 4th house. This is your ruling planet moving into the foundation of your life. It deserves your attention. Break time. Saturn enters Aries at 4:11 in the afternoon Pacific Time, 7:11 in the evening Eastern Time, 12:11 in the morning London Time on February 14th, and 1:11 in the morning Central European Time on February 14th. Wherever you are, do the ritual that evening or the night after, in your own home. I want you to walk through your home, slowly. All of it, every room. Look at it. Look at where you live. Look at how the rooms are arranged. Look at the furniture. Look at the walls. Look at the corners that need attention. Look at the rooms that bring you joy and the rooms that drain you. Take 20 minutes to do this slowly. No phone, no music. Just walking through your own home, seeing it. When you finish, sit in the room of your home where you feel most yourself. Or if you do not have such a room, break time .05 sky the kitchen. Because kitchens are 4th house. Light a single charcoal gray candle and a single dark green candle. Gray is your color, my Capricorn. Slate, stone, the color of mountains. Dark green is the color of deep earth. Place a piece of onyx or garnet beside them, your stones. Burn cedar or vetiver, your herbs. Take 3 deep breaths. Then say out loud, I welcome Saturn into the foundation of my life. I welcome the structure. I welcome the work. Say it 3 times, slowly. Sit with your journal. Write the date. Then write the answers to these questions, slowly, in your own way. Question 1. What does home mean to me, in my own definition, separate from what I was raised to believe it should mean? Question 2. Who in my family of origin do I need to make peace with, even if they have not asked for peace? Question 3. What foundation in my life is asking to be rebuilt? Physical home, family relationships. My relationship with my mother, my emotional security. Question 4. Over the next 2 years, as Saturn walks slowly through my 4th house, what is the foundation I want to have built by the end of it? Question 5. When I imagine myself on February 13th of 2028, when Saturn finally leaves my 4th house, where am I living? Who am I living with? And what does my home feel like? Sit with each answer. Do not rush through them. This is not a Capricorn task to complete. This is a reflection. The point is not to be efficient. The point is to be honest. Then place both hands on your heart and say 3 times, slowly, I am rooted, I am held, I am home. 3 times. Let both candles burn down on their own. This is the beginning of 2 years of foundation work. Do it well. Let me speak about rising signs briefly. If your rising is also Capricorn, Saturn enters your 4th house on your behalf, beginning the same 2-year foundation work for your physical self. If your rising is Aquarius, Saturn-Neptune enter your 3rd house, communication and voice rebuilding. If your rising is Pisces, Saturn-Neptune leave your sign, enormous relief after years of personal weight. If your rising is Aries, Saturn-Neptune enter your 1st house, your turn for the deep identity work. If your rising is Taurus, Uranus stops disrupting your 1st house. Calmer years ahead. If your rising is Gemini, Uranus enters your sign, the once-in-84-year personal revolution. If your rising is Cancer, break time of 5s. Jupiter has been in your sign and now leaves to enter your 2nd house, financial expansion. If your rising is Leo, Jupiter enters your sign in late June, your once-in-12 years renaissance. If your rising is Virgo, Jupiter enters your 12th house, preparing you for your big year. If your rising is Libra, Jupiter has been in your 10th and now enters your 11th. If your rising is Scorpio, Jupiter has been in your 9th and now enters your 10th. Career elevation. If your rising is Sagittarius, Jupiter has been in your 8th and now enters your 9th, your house. If your moon is in Capricorn, Saturn does not directly hit your moon this year. Relief. If your moon is in Aries, Saturn, Neptune sit on your moon. Emotional structural rebuilding. If your moon is in Cancer, break time .05s. Jupiter spends the first half of the year on your moon. Emotional warmth. If your moon is in Leo, Jupiter enters your moon sign at end of June. If your moon is in Pisces, the August 27th lunar eclipse lands on your moon. Compatibility. The signs that support you most this year are Taurus, Virgo, Cancer, and Pisces. Taurus because the fellow Earth signs ground you, and Chiron enters Taurus in June. Virgo because the Earth trine continues to be your refuge. Cancer because Jupiter spends the first half in Cancer in your 7th house, drawing Cancers into your partnerships. Pisces because, even though Saturn and Neptune leave Pisces, the Pisces friendships and communication you have built remain emotionally important. Be patient with Aries. Break time .05s, where Saturn and Neptune now live in your 4th house. Aries family members may bring tension. Be careful with Libra, where the Venus retrograde activates career frustrations. And be diplomatic with Gemini, where Uranus enters your 6th house and a Gemini in your work life may behave unpredictably. My dear Capricorn, before I let you go, I want to say one more thing. You have spent your life being responsible, reliable, steady, capable. You have been the one everyone turns to when something needs to be handled. You have been the eldest, even when you were not chronologically the eldest. You have carried what others could not carry. And the world has often taken this for granted, as if your competence were a given rather than a daily choice you have made. I see it. The universe sees it. Break time .05s. And 2026 is the year the universe asks you to come home to yourself. Saturn, your ruling planet, walks into your 4th house and says, enough of being responsible for everyone else. Build something for yourself. Build a home, a foundation, a family life, an inner architecture that supports you, not just everyone who has been leaning on you. Neptune walks with Saturn and says, let yourself dream. Let yourself imagine a softer version of life. Let yourself be cared for, not just the caretaker. Pluto continues its work in your money house and says, figure out what you actually want, not what you were told to want. Uranus moves into your 6th house and says, stop overworking. The body has limits. Honor them. Jupiter walks into your 8th house and says, let yourself receive. From a partner, from family, break time .05s, from circumstances. You are not weakened by being supported. You are made whole. Mark these dates. January 26th, Neptune leaves your 3rd house. February 13th, Saturn enters your 4th house. Perhaps the most significant date of your year. February 17th, solar eclipse in your 2nd house. February 20th, Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your 4th house. April 25th, Uranus into your 6th house. June 30th, Jupiter into your 8th house. August 12th, total solar eclipse on Jupiter in your 8th house. The financial peak of your year. August 27th, the closing eclipse in your 3rd house. One question for you, my darling. Answer it in the comments below. What is the foundation in your life? Physical home, family relationship, inner sense of belonging, that you are finally ready to rebuild. Just one sentence. I read every Capricorn comment. Putting it in writing makes it real. That is your year. It is a deeper year than it is a louder year. The biggest work happens at home, in your foundations, in your inner architecture. Do not let anyone, including yourself, convince you that quieter means smaller. The quiet work is often the most important. I will see you every month. I am Madame Aurora, from Manhattan, and I have been a devoted Capricorn astrologer for a very long time. Thank you for trusting me with your year.